Hey guys, this is Kevin, and basically I run an online business where I give out tutorials and courses and teachings of how you can start your own online business. And today I have someone with me who is a part of the community as well. He has as well started his online business, and I'm going to introduce you guys to him. His name is Mike. So first of all, thank you so much, Mike, for coming to this call.
No problem.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well indeed, thank you. Really well.
Awesome. So Mark, for those who may not know you, would you be able to explain your background, what you did before you started your online business, and how you ended up building an online business in the first place?
Sure. Okay, so my background was 30 years in software sales, that's sort of big corporate software sales. So I was selling software to banks, large telecommunications, pharmaceutical companies, very big deals, very high pressure. A job I really enjoyed when I first started, sort of face-to-face selling. But as I sort of progressed from my career, ended up with 2 failed marriages, ended up losing everything that I'd worked for 30 years. It dawned on me one day that all I'd been doing was chasing a paycheck, chasing the money, and ended up with nothing. And wasted 30 years of my life. I learned a lot along the way. Don't get me wrong. I was very grateful for the opportunities I had, but I just realised that I was constantly chasing money, and the rest of my life, I've been chasing money, and I hadn't been living a life, if that makes sense. This time, we're in 2019 now, so March of 2019. I had started to build up another software job. I was a first guy in the ground, building up a US company, software organization. And I had a big fallout with my boss. And it was a bit of an epiphany, really, because he sort of challenged me to say, hey, I don't think your heart's really in this. And something in me clicked. And I just said, you're right, it's not. And I didn't think he was expecting that. So he said, well, maybe we should call it a day. And I said, yeah, maybe we should.
Really?
and that was that. And, I put the phone down to him, and he's based in America. And I just thought, oh my God, what have I done? But I felt this huge weight lifting off my shoulders. It was unbelievable. The stress that I was under, it's suddenly gone. And then I started thinking about, hang on, where am I going to earn? Where am I going to earn the money? I had huge overheads. But I thought, I'm going to take a month off, and I'll update my CV and go find another job. But after playing around for a couple of weeks, getting really bored already because I didn't have a job, I was playing around on YouTube one day, trying to motivate myself to update my CV and start interviewing. And this advert popped up on YouTube, and it was a young guy probably half my age, similar background to me, a software sales guy, very stressful job, hitting large numbers. He'd quit his job, walked away from a 6-figure salary like I had, and within the space of a fairly short time had replaced his income. And more importantly, which is what really caught my imagination, he had the time and freedom to work anywhere in the world and still earn a decent income. And he didn't have a boss to report to. He didn't have a commute to do. He didn't have sales targets to hit and all the other stressful things you have in a big sales job like I had. So I just thought, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And I signed up for this training platform. I didn't think it was real at first. I thought it was maybe a scam, but I just thought, $30, who cares? Let's see if this is real. And it was. It surprised me. It was not only was it real, the guy that I signed up with, a guy called Dan, reached out to me and spoke to me and explained exactly all the steps that I'd be going through over the next few months, and immersed me in the training, which was really hard. So I thought, well, if this is a scam, why don't they make it easy? This is really difficult. So I worked my way through all the training modules. They taught me how to build a website. They taught me how to automate the website end to end. And then the biggest challenge I had was I didn't even have a clue what type of business I wanted or what type of products I wanted to sell. So that was one of my biggest fears. And then they even got rid of that problem for me because they had, I guess, a system where you can earn while you learn, which is exactly what I wanted. And I wanted to learn, but I only had a finite amount of money and time.
Yeah.
So to be able to earn while I was learning how to do, an online business, build an online business, was a wonderful option for me, which I took.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back since. I've been, so March, where are we now? I'm probably 8 or 9 months in. I've replaced my previous income and some.
Wow.
My wife, in beginning of November, quit her job, so she's coming to work with me after she's finished her notice.
Really? That's
Probably
amazing.
February, I think she'll start working with me, but she's quit a job that she didn't like very much either.
Okay.
So we're going to be working together. So God help me. Yeah.
I have 2 questions.
Two.
First question is, it seems like you come across this idea completely by accident.
Definitely.
I mean, that's how it seems like, because it's not like you've thought about this before. Like, okay, you did want another job. That's pretty much what you were looking for, and probably in around the same industry. But the fact that you went on YouTube and you fell in an ad, and there was a guy talking about his experience, and then he went into online business. How is it that, you've never thought about doing online business before, or have you?
No.
So it was completely based upon the fact that you related with the message, and the guy that had the same experience with you, and then decided to do online business.
I was looking, Christ, I was bored. I was just messing around on YouTube, and I was looking for, I think I was following some underwater monster story. They do these really weird videos you get on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just because I was brain dead bored. And I didn't, and something inside me was holding me back because I didn't want to start interviewing again, which I hate. Yeah. And he just caught me right, he just caught me in a moment where I was very low. I'd given up this job that I hated, so I was euphoric, but I realized I couldn't just sit watching YouTube for the rest of my life. I had to find another income. And no, I wasn't thinking about online business. I never thought about online business. I had thought about trying to get out of sales before, but then I had no other skills. I didn't have a very good education. I quit school. I was a bit of a rebel. I fell into sales and had a wonderful career in sales, and a lot of money, traveled the world. I was very, very lucky. But also I got to such a height. I was a sales director running the whole of EMEA, Europe, Middle East, Africa. Wow. And that was really, really stressful. And I didn't want that. I sort of slowly just grew into that earning bracket. Yeah. And with that earning bracket, you get a lot of responsibility. And clearly it was something I didn't want. And I'd worked so hard and traveled so much that, as I said before, I had 2 failed marriages, lost wife, kids, houses, dogs, the whole lot. So at the age of 50, I ended up with nothing but a huge amount of debt. So I wasn't even in positive territory, yet I was earning a couple of £100,000 a year, and I was broke. It was ridiculous. So something had to change. And that call with my CEO, when he just challenged me to say, I just don't think your heart's in it. There's something about you. And I just said, you're right. It's not. I really don't like this. I'm really not happy.
What do you think would have happened if your boss didn't recognize that, or didn't kind of like spotlight you on that part? Like, what do you reckon? What do you think would have happened? Would you think you would have quit eventually, or do you think you would have kept going and pushing?
No, I would have quit eventually, because I knew, I'd sorted out all the personal issues in my life. I was incredibly happy. The only thing that I was still unhappy with in my life was my job, and I knew, if I didn't change, it would kill me. The stress would kill me. I used to, at weekends, be in bed. I would have panic attacks about Monday morning and the sales call I had to do, because I had some bad news about an opportunity that wasn't going the way that everybody expected it would go, for no reason, for no fault of my own. But they don't accept, when you're in that level of job, they don't accept that someone's left the company and therefore the deal's not going to happen. It's, why didn't you know that was going to happen? How am I supposed to know that was going to, ridiculous stress they put you under, and it's totally unrealistic. And it's just do or die attitude. Do the deal or die. As simple as that. And the job would have made me die. Would have killed me. The stress was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm only 20 years old. I mean, Christ. So. But it was incredibly stressful, and yeah, I would have given up eventually. But I would have done exactly the same again. I was in this mode where I would do a job for a couple of years. It wouldn't work out. I'd earn a lot of money. I'd quit, go find another one, and another one, and another one. And I could always find another job. I could find another sales job now. But my God, I'm so grateful. I will never, ever have to go and have a job again. I'll never have to work for a boss again. And I'll never have to be in that stress again. And, this year, where have I been this year? This year I worked from Spain. I worked from Cape Town in South Africa. I worked all around the Caribbean with my wife. We are about to go down to Australia in February with obviously the rest of the community who work down there. After Australia, we're cruising around the Arab Emirates, and I'm going to be working. She'll be working with me then.
Eventually.
So we have this wonderful life now where we can travel we've got a dog, so we don't like to travel too much, but I can work anywhere in the world. I can work as hard as I want, and I do still work really hard, too much. But it's my choice. I can have days where I do half an hour just looking at my numbers. And then I do a day where, I'll be shooting videos and writing ads and doing all the work that you sort of need to do to try and improve my business. But it's my choice. I can take the whole day off, or I can work really hard. Yeah.
See, that's what I think is so interesting, because there's a lot of people who in their previous jobs or in the current job, they have already sort of a geographical freedom, so they can work from home. And they have the finances, right? They get the six figures, or they get really a good paycheck.
I had that. Yeah, I worked from home, and I had a very good.
Exactly, but then when you took this decision, I think the big value proposition in that was that you decided yourself, you had full control of your own pace, and I can kind of like that peace of mind comes in, because I don't think the money, neither the geographical freedom would have sold you.
No.
I would have sold you the project immediately, but it's that fact that you decide how you want to work, how long you want to work. There's no one is going to have to report on you. No one is going to have to check upon you, like
chase me.
You and your and your own accountability. And I think that's really valuable.
I mean, I in my other job, I used to travel a lot, which is why I ended up with 2 failed marriages. I just a lot of time in America, a lot of time across Europe, and all around the world I traveled. But I had to, I had to do those meetings. I had to do that travel. I saw very little of the countries that I visited, because it was an airport, a Hilton hotel, an office, a meeting room, back again, and then home. I didn't get days off where I could, go and do a safari or go and see the beach or wherever. I was in some wonderful places, but I never ever got to see them. Just the airport and the hotel. Now I choose when I travel. I pick where I go. I just do what I want to do. And when I have those days where I don't want to work and I really don't feel like it, I don't. I just check my numbers at the beginning of the day, check my numbers at the end of the day, hopefully I've had a good day, and that's it. And then the next day, hopefully I'll be motivated to actually do something more positive. I always try and do something, just even if it's a very small thing, one positive thing each day, just tick one little box each day. But it's my choice. And it's I'm blessed. It's a really wonderful place to be. I can't describe how that feeling that, when you know you're earning enough money that you don't need to worry about money anymore. And then you can start focusing on the really important things in life, like friends and family. But now, something I didn't expect in my online business is I have the opportunity to help other people. And, 30 years in sales, I just helped myself. I got big deals. I earned thousands of pounds. I bought lovely cars and houses and lost it all. But that was the only satisfaction I had. Winning a big deal, great euphoria, big paycheck, but never ever helped anybody else. And, for the first time ever in my life now, I'm getting messages from all around the world, people sending me presents from all around the world. Sometimes I'm sitting in my office and I'm in tears because some of the messages that people have sent me, they come from incredibly hard backgrounds, and they're saying I've saved their life and I've changed their life, and and all I'm doing is sort of promoting online educational services, and yet I'm changing people's lives. And I come in here and I'm in tears. Some of the things that people are saying, and I never ever felt or thought I would be fulfilled by what I did as a job, and now I am. And that wasn't something I was looking for. That's just hit me like a freight train a few months ago when I started getting these messages and presents from all over the world. Incredible.
That's amazing. So I had a second question that I wanted to ask you. You briefly mentioned about the difficulty that you've come across and that you've eventually overcame. But so did you have, and I'm not sure whether that's the case or not, but did you have sort of a technical background within online, these online services? Because like, how did you do it? Like, how did you manage to have, learn this completely new set of skill sets, and did well on it? Like, how did you do it?
It's quite daunting. No, I even though I was in software sales or IT sales for 30 years, I could just about turn on a laptop, send an email, do a Word document, a little bit of PowerPoint, although I used to get my technical people to do that. And I could just about find my way around a spreadsheet, but it was really bad. I would fail at Office skills. There was an exam for Microsoft Office skills.
Like
So that was my level. But, I knew from my 30 years in sales that there are really clever people that can do that stuff for you. But when you're starting your own business, you can't afford to hire people like that. And the community that I joined, the global community that I joined, first of all, they have an education platform that's second to none, that takes you through step by step, complete idiots like me, how to build a website, then how to automate that website so it will run and potentially generate you revenue when you're sleeping even. All of that's done. But even that took me probably 2 months because I was such an idiot. I kept skipping stuff and had to go back. And anyway, I made it so hard for myself. But I got there because when I did get stuck, there was a community of people that I could reach out to that were either where I am or just a few months ahead of me that could just say, this is what you need to do. And everyone was willing to help, which was amazing. Even though they had no interest in me at all financially, or they just were willing to help, which is wonderful. So the training platform helped me get there. The community, more importantly, helped me stop quitting when it got really tough, and show me how to get there. And I think that's probably the honest answer. It certainly wasn't me. Things get tough. I'm the personality that would normally quit, but these people wouldn't let me quit. They really just dragged me to the point where I got my first sale. And when I got my first online sale, when I was sleeping, some guy in the US bought something from me. It was euphoric. And I knew then if I can make one sale, I can make 10. If I can make 10, I can make 100. And I just knew it works. My internet engine works. It's generated money. I now need just to make it go faster. And I spent the next few months just doing that, just cranking up the volume and the earnings. I've never looked back.
Awesome. So what is the thing then, because you mentioned about how you would try to check every single day something positive in your list or your to-do list. So I'm wondering what keeps you going? Like, what is that? Is it something that, is it sort of like a mind trick that you play in your, like a thing that you say, well, I've had to sell, I've done this. It means that the business must work. Thus, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get the same results or maybe even better. Is that something that you keep reminding to yourself? And is that what keeps you going? Or what is that thing that keeps Mike Jacques consistently going for those sales, for those leads, for those results?
You don't have to keep going because once you've built this system, it is automated. I mean, as I said before, if I don't show up, it will keep going. It will keep generating money, which is nice. But if you want, when you've got enough money and you stop counting the money, there's enough to live on and you don't need to worry about it. That's a really lovely place to be. Then you can focus on all these messages that are coming in. Every morning I wake up, I've got 10, 15, 20 messages
Wow.
for people who are doubting or people who are frightened to move forward.
Yes.
Sometimes simply people just say, where do I sign up? You know, I missed your link. Where is it? But there's a whole raft of messages that you have to get through, from the doubters to the people who are saying, take my money, you know, where do I start?
Yeah.
And so that's my first job. I always, you know, I sit down. I don't start working until about 10 o'clock in the morning normally. I take the dog for a walk, have a cup of coffee, sit down, open up my laptop, look at my numbers. Hopefully they're good. And then I start going through all the email messages or the WhatsApp messages, clearing them down one by one until all that's done. Then I'll probably have a break. And then I'll start again about midday. I might work on some ads, but I'll always have a list of things to do that I know if I fix this bit in my business would be more efficient. I would get more revenue, yeah, more conversions, more. There's always something to do. And again, the community, when you reach a level where you've got the business and the business is running, then you're mixing with people within the community that are at the same place as you or further on than you. And they're always teaching you how to improve what you're doing. You know, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And, you know, you start to build this constant list up of things you could do better. And, you know, if you don't, your business isn't going to get any better. So you make sure that you slowly knock these things down one by one. But I'm quite lazy. You know, I could, you know, really, really focus on this and do this. But if I'm honest, I don't. I do it when I feel like it. I do it when I'm motivated, but I do it. And slowly but surely I get stuff knocked down. But I could be, you know, if I had the right mindset, I could be even further along in my journey than I am at the moment.
But I mean, you're doing quite well though. Like in a matter of 9 months, you've managed to, or a little bit more, you've managed to replace the original income of your job. That's amazing.
And my wife's,
and your wife, and she's joining you again. Like that's amazing. That's really good.
It is, but I can see there are other people in the community that do a lot better than me, that perform a lot better than me in different parts of the business. You know, you've got this sort of, I guess, the advertising part, and you've got the back end systems that are all primarily automated, but there's fine tuning you can do there. And if you do that fine tuning well, then guess what? You get more conversions, you get more revenue. It's a never ending job. The way I like to look at it is when you come out of this educational mode, you reach the end of what we call module 5. You end up with this engine. It's a 4-cylinder Model T Ford engine, and you start it and it's spluttering away and it's hardly doing anything. It's not very efficient at all. And then you go and start carrying on learning. You never stop learning. And then someone says, well, why don't you fit a turbocharger to it? And you know, turbocharger is remarketing. So you fit this turbocharger to it and it starts running faster. And then so, why don't you have fuel injection? So you put fuel injection, and you're constantly working on this engine backwards and forwards, front to back.
Right.
Eventually, until you've got a Rolls-Royce Merlin Spitfire engine, hopefully, you know, working at maximum efficiency. Then you can sit back, and then you can go and start another business. Because that's my plan. Is not to, you know, to do this probably for a year, maybe a year and a half, earn enough capital. Where I can invest that into another business, probably go into full-blown e-commerce and start selling stuff, you know, physical products, software products. But, you know, and eventually have multiple businesses, both online businesses and maybe some physical businesses as well. Airbnb is another idea that we've had. But, you know, I need to learn how to do this craft, you know, build online businesses, and then multiple online businesses, and then diversify. And then, I'm got 54 now, so I guess I was approaching retirement, but now I'm thinking, I don't ever want to retire. I love what I'm doing now. Why should I retire?
Awesome. Exactly.
Fully automated. It's growing in revenue month after month. Why would I ever think of retiring? I'll be mad. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. I mean, it's really awesome. Even the fact that the community that you and I both ended up in is really community that would give you every single reason why you should not quit.
Yeah.
even the fact that people are present. Like I even explain this, I give this example and I give it to everyone all the time, and I'm still shocked by it today. So one day I've posted in the community an advertisement that I've done, because sometimes I'm not really sure whether my advertisement would work, and I kind of would want to get some feedback or see if I can get some feedback from it. And so people give always amazingly constructive feedback. And there was this one guy, and I don't know who that guy is. I've never known that guy. I don't know where he comes from or anything like that, but he basically commented in a way that he would identify the minute and the second of the video to show and to identify basically a particular typo in my subtitles. And I'm
Wow.
like,
Really?
who paid you for that? Like, I'm like, seriously, like, who, like, why?
Yeah.
like, what? Like, so it means that you would have gone back and like, say, okay, so from 2 minutes
Spelled that wrong.
exactly. And I'm like, why would you
Wow.
do that? And again, like, it shows me that those people are genuinely there to help you improve.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that in doing that, they're learning, and as I am as well.
Yeah.
When I give advice, when I kind of explain something to someone,
Yeah.
I'm learning because I'm learning how to explain that. So I need to get a grasp and an understanding of that thing. And so I totally relate with you on that. The community has personally given me every single reason to basically tell me that I shouldn't quit. I should keep going.
I mean, the only people I've seen in this community that fail are the people that quit. And it can get tough. It can get tough through the technical stuff and getting your internet engine built. And it can get tough. The hardest part's the marketing, as you know. You can have the best product in the world, but on the internet, it's a bit like having Harrods built in the middle of the Sahara Desert. No one's going to come unless you are really good at marketing and you can get that footfall to pass through your shop. So the marketing is the hardest bit, and learning that skill. And I was in sales, and everyone said, "Oh yeah, but you had 30 years in sales. You got marketing down pat before you even started." Absolutely not. It's so different. You know, I spent a fortune on Bing for a month. I blew Bing up. Bing shut me down and wouldn't tell me why. So I wasted £1,000 on Bing, and God, did I want to give up then? You can imagine, you know, all of that work, bang, turned me off. Like, wow. And they wouldn't talk to me and tell me why, so I could fix it. So then I spent another month moving from Bing to Google and making sure I'm Google compliant and I could go on YouTube and getting all the YouTube stuff set up. And I'd never been on camera ever before. So it's like, how am I going to do this? 100 videos later, I had one that sort of, I think I was brave enough to put up. But that was last week in June. And then the first week in July, when my ad actually started to run after Google had done all their compliance checking, bang, I started to get leads, I started to get apps, and that was it. I was away. And then I shot a number of other ads, and it was only the fourth ad that I shot, and I started to add B-roll and all that sort of stuff, and then boom, it just took off. And I've literally had an update today from YouTube, 1.5 million views on one ad. You get a little certificate.
Get out of it. Oh, what?
Incredible. Utterly incredible. Yeah.
That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to invest in dark glasses and a cap and a beard and disguise that go out. But no, it's amazing. It is amazing. It really is incredible that many people would actually watch my video rather than skip it. And then obviously I've had, through the revenue I've had, obviously a lot of people go ahead and sign up. But you know, part of this job now is, you know, when people sign up, you know, you can see that they wobble. You can see that they're frightened, because it's not like we're selling, you know, a franchise for corner shops or, you know, a franchise for KFC, you know, where people know the business model. They know KFC works. You know, they know they could fry chicken in a, you know, they know they could do it. But, you know, in that model, they've got to put probably a couple of £100,000 down to get that franchise set up, to buy the property and everything that goes with it. You know, with this model, it's unknown. People don't know Jim next door who runs an online business because he doesn't exist. There are so few of us doing what we're doing, earning a living from the internet. I think I heard a figure saying it's 1/100 of 1% of the world's population earn a living directly online. That doesn't mean working for Amazon or Google. people like you and me earning a living online, 1/100%. Can't even measure it, basically.
You can't even do it.
So to be down the pub and find someone that's also doing online business and have a chat, it's not going to happen. So it's quite scary. It's, it is a brand new industry, and I also sort of like to sort of analogize it to, back in the 17th, 16th century when the first steam tractor rolled into a field and everybody was there spending weeks chopping wheat down, and this guy in his steam tractor frightening everybody with this huge machine. I can do it in a day. I'm going to do the whole field, all the fields in a day. And people didn't believe, and people ran away, and, they all ended up losing their jobs because this machine took over. And this is what's happening again. That was the Industrial Revolution. We are starting a digital revolution. Many of these jobs that people have today that went into the Industrial Revolution, those jobs are going. Manufacturing jobs are nearly, they're nearly all gone. Now investment bankers and teachers and many other blue-collar jobs now are under threat, because what I was doing, my last job was selling software to replace people's jobs, to automate people out of a job. Sorry to say it, but it's happening. It's happening now. And the sooner you learn these skills and earn an income online, the better, because the world went from cottage industry, harvesting the crop, working from home, into factories, and now the internet's doing the opposite. We're all going to be back working from home. The factories are gone, or they're automated. It's the whole cycle's nearly turning full circle, and you need to earn a living working from home. Yeah.
So you do think that in the future that these skills that we are learning and providing for people are going to be essential to the trends in the job market and generally, like, what's going to happen for the future within society?
Definitely. I mean, there's those trends, jobs being automated at every level. Even jobs where you think you need someone, like a lawyer. Surely you've got to, you spend years going to university and learning all these skills and learning the law, and software can do that in hours. They can learn all of that. Of course, you need human interaction, but you don't need thousands of lawyers talking to thousands of customers. You could have tens of or a few hundred lawyers talking to even more customers, and you automate it. So, there are people at university today or just leaving university today that have spent years aiming at a career, and those jobs won't be around in the next 5 to 10 years. So
that is crazy.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. I'm not sure whether they know or even recognize that reality.
They don't. They see that big steam engine sitting in the corner of the field, and they've got a clue what it's going to do.
What is going to happen? Like, what's this thing?
No.
And I like the analogy because it is so true. And you could compare this with so many different things. Even like when the credit payment or the car payment came across, that's something new, right?
Yeah.
People used to exchange values with physical things. Well, either it was gold mining, or even before, we used to be like cows and
bartering,
stones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this one guy says, hey, you know what? Forget about that physical value proposition that you have. Put all of that on a piece of paper or a copy.
Yeah.
Oh, why would I do that? Like that's nonsense. Yeah. And then again, it changed completely. Now all of our money and all of our values that we have is digital.
And it's all going to go Bitcoin as well, obviously, because currencies we'll stop using hundreds of currencies around the world, and we'll settle on 1 or 2 Bitcoin currencies. We will not only be living a digital life, but we'll be working for digital strings of code that are about this long, and that's our payment. That's our currency, code.
Right.
Talking code. It's just crazy. I can't even get my head around it. And I know, I'm thinking ahead, but I can't quite think that far ahead. But Bitcoin's going to be really big when it becomes trusted and stable, and that's soon. The Chinese government are about to launch Bitcoin and replace their currency. The US government are thinking about doing the same with Facebook. So there'll be these 2 ginormous Bitcoin currencies battling it out. And then Bitcoin will be, one of them will be the standard currency rather than the US dollar is the global currency, one or the other, and I'm betting China will
A lot of people in China, that's for sure. Cryptocurrency, yeah, they are regulated. They are regulating pretty strictly, but cryptocurrency and alternative currencies are definitely going to become huge in China.
They are. They are.
Do you reckon that is maybe one of advice that you would give, apart from which is actually quite valuable as well, the peace of mind, the fact that you get to control how, when, and where you work. That having in mind, do you think another advice that you would tell someone that might be hesitating or might be doubting about the services that we're providing is that there are skills that you will get to learn that are extremely essential, even if you don't build business, an online business, like you're acquiring skills that would allow you to be prepared for these trends that we're talking about. Would that be fair? Is that one of the advice?
I mean, it would be. Another idea that sort of popped into mind, and I'm not ready yet, but another business idea, and I've seen other people in our community do this, is there are lots of local businesses that are not internet savvy, online savvy. So once you've learned your skill on generating revenue from YouTube, generating revenue from Facebook, from Bing, there's about 15 different platforms now, that you can advertise businesses of any sort and generate revenue from. Once you've learned one or two of those platforms, and they're pretty much the same, they just have slightly different tools, you then have the capability of going out to your local community, your local businesses, and being an advertising agent, an online advertising agent, and selling your skills that you've learned, and recuperating your investment, because obviously this journey that we're on does cost a lot of time and it costs money as well. Yeah. But we're building these skills that you can physically sell if you wanted to, door to door around your community or in your area, to help these businesses struggling get online and survive the big Amazons and the big giants that are trying to gobble them up via automation. What we need to do is tool these small businesses up to allow them to play the same game and survive. So, and if you're not broad, if you're not visible on the internet these days, then the older generations just ahead of me that are not internet savvy, when they're gone, everybody on the planet will be, researching at least online before they go and physically buy something. Even cars now, it was unthinkable 10 years ago. You would never buy a car online. Tesla now. Tesla sell all of their cars online. People don't even go and even see the car. They just buy them online. Really? They build them online. That what interior, what color, what spec of the car, order. And that's that's an $80,000 to $100,000 order online without even going to touch the car.
So like convincing someone 10 years ago to do that, it's like
you do some research, you find out what type of BMW it is you like and which ones are best and how reliable are they, and then you go to the garage and then you kick the tires, right? You have a test drive, you think about it a bit more. No, not now. Click, done. When can I have it? Yeah,
exactly. Oh my god.
So that's the other thing about the younger generations. Everybody wants everything instantaneously now.
Yeah, that's what they say now as well. Like if you don't have a presence or awareness on social media or like online in general, you are actually becoming progressively irrelevant.
Extinct.
Or extinct, in other words. Like it's a reality. And that idea that you mentioned about building sort of become like a digital consultant or an advertisement agency, that's huge.
There's I won't mention her name, but there's a lady that I've spoken to a few times that's been helping me on my journey. She became a Facebook expert in our community.
Awesome.
But what happened was that she was trying to build up her automated Facebook business directly online. And then I think a friend of hers was running a business, was struggling. They got chatting. Could you do the same for me and help my business? So she did, and it did massively help the business. They spoke to other friends who had physical businesses. And after a while, she was getting so many of these inquiries. Can you do this? Can you do that for me? And it was, hang on a minute. There's a business here.
There's a business, exactly.
And I'm not even trying. They're coming to me to ask for help. And she starts charging the money, and eventually she got so busy doing the consultancy, she didn't have time for, well, she still runs the automated business, but it's backwater now. She now thoroughly enjoys the face-to-face,
That's amazing.
helping turning businesses around and succeed. So she was from London. I think she moved to America. She's now in Australia, and she like lives in 3 parts of the world and follows the sun, probably. Yeah. She's a wonderful lady. And again, that happened purely by accident. She found the community, she learnt the skills, and before she even became successful in her own right, you know, in her own business, this other business opportunity popped up and she's earned millions. So yeah. Because of the skills that she learned. Yeah.
Exactly. And she's selling the skills, like, again, it's a return on your investment.
Yeah.
Mike, I am so thankful for this conversation. I'm learning a lot. This is really good. This is valuable for me. So I thank you for this again. I'm going to have to run eventually because I'll be already a little bit out of time.
You've got a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, this is good. I love this. I'm going to watch this again and be inspired by this. Cool. But I would love to keep in touch.
Definitely.
So thank you again for coming on this call. Thank you for booking a little bit of time to speak with me. And we'll talk again soon. Is that
Absolutely.
Right? Awesome.
Have a good one.
Good one. All right. See ya. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate.